What's going on, everybody? YL from rebelears.com here with another quick episode of YL's Weekly Recap. Last week, remember, it was slow. I only had one show, but I was giving you guys up, letting you know that it was going to be an exciting week this week, and it indeed was. All right, we're going to kick off. I had two very important shows, very exciting shows this week. And I actually had a career first this week, man, which was amazing for me. So we're about to dive into that. All right. So, man, first show that I had, it's really been, before I tell you guys what it was, it's actually like not really a dream come true, but it's definitely something that I've always wanted to do once I heard about it. The thing about living life and being out here in the work field and trying to figure out how to make it and, pay your bills and survive or whatever the reason that you need to make money. It's hard to find things that, we love, right? It's hard to go to work sometimes and actually be happy that we're there. And this is one reason why I give you guys these weekly recaps, to just inspire those that are trying to build a career out of audio and live sound or studio or whatever, just sound all the way around the board. But it's really important that as we join this rat race and we continue to get out here and try to mold our careers and whatever we're doing, it's important that we actually enjoy what we do, right? It's important that we find some type of hobby and some type of love into what we're doing in order to survive, right? The job or the career or the business or whatever you have going on that's giving you your income, right? So this was important for me. This is definitely one of my favorite events that I've done so far. My first time doing it, won't be the last. I was excited to get this opportunity. So I would probably say a few weeks ago, I got an opportunity to run live sound for a tailgating event for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, if you into football or you're into sports, you understand that tailgating takes place all over the place, right? So if you're in Atlanta, you know that tailgating takes place anywhere close to the stadium, every single lot that's close to the stadium, every corner. I mean, everywhere that you can fit grills and tents and cars and people, there's tailgating going on. Well, of course, that's for the fans and that's for the people that just love football or love their team or love their sport or whatever it is. But this particular tailgating event I was able to run sound for was actually for the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It was actually for the Atlanta Falcons and their whole organization. They put together different tailgating events for those special ticket holders and for those VIP style type of fans. And there's a lot of different events that they throw right around the Mercedes-Benz on top of all of the other fan-based tailgating events. So there were like 3 or 4 different Atlanta Falcons tailgating events that was going on before the game Sunday. We lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers, but it's all good because, my love for the Falcons and my love for my home team, it really, really, really just spoke volumes to me and gave me confirmation that I just need to keep going and keep pushing forward. There's so much growth in this industry. It's so much more for me to do. That it's so many things that I have not touched that I just can't even fathom about live sound, even at this point in my career. So it's so far for me to go. This event really just let me know that, hey, keep it up, keep going. It's working, right? This is my favorite football team, NFL team. It's my home team. And I literally just got the chance to run sound for a very important tailgating event for them. We were located in a tiny little small area. Parlay from the Franchise Boyz and Pimpin'. Franchise Boyz, they came out. They got the crowd hype. They performed, so I got to run some live sound for them. which was dope. You know what I'm saying? It's always a good thing when I'm doing something new that I've never done before, right? This is a scenario as far as gear wise and experience wise. I've done this type of stuff a bunch of times, but for this particular event and for it to be my favorite football team along with some Atlanta legends on the stage performing, and I'm the sound guy for that, was amazing. It was amazing. I really, really enjoyed it. So getting that opportunity and even getting that phone call just let me know that every time I step on site as a contractor, I'm doing a great job. I'm representing myself the way I should be represented as a business, as a company, as a sole proprietorship. I am representing myself 100% the right way, which is why these opportunities keep coming. Like I said before, this is just my story and my recap for you guys to inspire you all. It took me 10 years in this industry to be able to have these kind of talks with y'all. So with the family, I've had a family all those 10 years. So this is my way of just letting you guys know that it is possible, man. I'm living a wonderful life, and it's continuously growing through live sound and through just using the tips of being a business owner and, you know, presenting myself the way I want people to not only treat me, not only respect me, but also view me as a business owner, as a sole proprietorship, as a person that ultimately works for themselves. All right. So that was a super cool event. They had a couple Falcons players come by and get the crowd hyped up, and then they marched from the tailgating spot and they marched into the stadium to watch our Dirty Birds play. We did lose. Shout out to my boy, one of the guys that worked with me. He was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. So during the event, during the setup of the event, you know, we had our little trash talk moments, and I'm just mad that next time I see him, he's going to have a whole lot of bragging rights for the rest of the year, because we will not play Pittsburgh again. So, but yeah, shout out to my boy that I work with, man. You know who y'all. Yeah, so that was the first event, bro. Really, really, really lit. Turned up, as y'all can see. All right, on the second gig, this one was special. This was a really special week for me. So, not only was this my first time doing, actually running some type of live sound for a football game or for the actual organization. I've done plenty of events in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but this particular Falcons event was special. But on top of that, a few days later, I get the opportunity to run sound on my very first line array rig. I think it's about 14 boxes, 2 subs. I had 2 delays up top. I mean, I've never ran a rig this big. And when I say a rig this big, I want you to understand that we're talking about maybe 18 speakers total, a big, huge concrete building with the dome on the top of it. So trying to EQ and make the sound wonderful is really a task when you're dealing with line arrays, when you're dealing with a lot of concrete. It's not soundproof. We're not in a hotel ballroom, or we're not in a soft padded room with soft walls or any kind of insulation. It's all concrete and glass and steel. And this was my very first time tuning line arrays. And when I mean tuning, that just means going through the console and actually working your EQs and actually finding out the tune of the room itself, right? So you sometimes, if you can do this by playing familiar music and starting to tune the room, but we do this with microphones. This was my biggest rig. It was not my biggest show. I've ran shows a whole lot bigger that have way more people attend, way more intricate aspects, but this was still a huge show output wise. Very large line array rig. Like I said, I think it's 14 boxes, 7 on each side, 2 huge subs, 2 master delays in the back of the room at the top for the people that were at the top of the room. And as you can see, the room is really weirdly shaped. But man, listen, This is my first time working on this Midas console. Never worked on this Midas console. These were Nexo boxes, so I'm very familiar with Nexo. Like I show you guys all the time, that's pretty much most of the PA that I work on is Nexo, so I'm familiar with the amp racks. This system is also network-based system, so I'm familiar with the stage box and hooking up the console with that one network cable, that one Cat6 cable that I always talk about, that Dante connection. But this is my first time using this Midas console. So not only was it my first time actually tuning and running live sound on a huge line array, it was also my first time on this console. And the nudges of approval and the taps, you know, people walking by you and tapping you on the shoulder saying, hey, it sounds great. That right there is the best compliment you can get as an audio engineer, especially this is your first time in this type of scenario. I was up under, so it's 2 floors in this building. It's all concrete. I was up under the 2nd floor where my front of house station was. So I wasn't out in front of the speakers. So I'm up under a concrete ceiling, basically, which is the floor to the upstairs. It's concrete above me, and it's really hard to tell how good your speakers sound. So to get those nods of approval, to get people telling me, even, you know, the people that actually called me out there to do the job, they were pleased. We streamed 2 of the shows. This was a 2-day show. We streamed 2 of the shows. We recorded all of the shows. All of the record feeds sounded great. They were crisp. I actually EQ'd all of the microphones to make them sound good in the room and to make them sound good on the streams, on the recordings. It was flawless. It went great. I really couldn't ask for a better scenario. So I'm looking forward to working with that rig a lot more. I know I'll be receiving that phone call. So this was, like I said, this was a major week for me. It was really busy. Those 2 shows really kind of ate up my days this week. Of course, I had another show on the tail end, but I'll give you guys a rendition of that next week as this show continues to finish up. I'm back in the busy season, so I'm working pretty much 5, 6, 7 days a week now. So it is a lot to push out content-wise. Remember that I also do lighting. I also do staging. I do other things that I also tech in as well. So, you know, this is about sound. I'm letting you guys know what I do sound, but even on days that I'm not doing sound, I make really good money. Sound introduced me into doing lighting, introduced me into doing video, introduced me into doing scenic and set building. And this is pretty much how I do. This is how I pay my bills. This is what I do every single day outside of being in the studio. 75% of the time that I'm going to work, it is for live sound. But I have strayed into other avenues of live events and live production that kind of help me keep my schedule all the way tight and keep it all the way booked up. So, like I said before, like I always say, I hope you guys are inspired. I hope this week really showed you guys that even after 10 years of me grinding, trying to get a really stable audio career, I've learned lighting in the process. I've learned staging and prop building in the process. I've learned video production in the process, all to be able to say right now, I am a professional audio engineer. This week really just kind of like blew my mind and just showed me and sealed the deal that I am a professional audio engineer. I've already known that for the last few years, but the type of invites and the type of calls that I'm receiving now is really letting me know that I am on the up and up, and you guys can be the same exact way. In every major city, there is a production industry. All right, there is an event industry, and it pays really well if you can really get dialed in and you can get locked in into this industry and start running these consoles and running these boards. It may take some time, but it is a journey well deserved when you get to that point. All right. Like I said before, it took me 10 years because I've had so many other things going on. I was not contracting full time for those 10 years. I've only been contracting full time for about maybe 3 or 4 years max. And it's been the best decision I've ever made. Shout out to my wife. She gave me that push to make that leap. As you know, when we're men and we got families, we're kind of locked in on what we have to do to pay the bills. And that's kind of where I was. I was still engineering, I was still contracting, but I still went to work every day to make sure my bills was paid. My wife pushed me into that, to jumping out of my comfort zone and going 100% contracting, and my career has skyrocketed. I've put more into this career, which is why I'm getting more out. And that's basically what I'm telling you guys. Take the leap if you can. Take the leap. The more you put into it, the more you'll get out. As soon as I made that leap, I just saw my career skyrocketing. And in the last 3-4 years, I've been running consoles, live sound, growing in the industry. My name has been growing. My rate has been growing as far as what I get paid and what I'm allowed to charge people for my services. Everything has just been wonderful. My knowledge, the gear that I get to work on, the people that I get to meet and learn from. It is all a win-win. So be inspired. Chase that audio career. If it worked for me, it can work for you. And until next time, refuse to sound ordinary.